Hey everyone, I hope you are all having a lovely, lovely week. I promised that I would talk about the energies that are happening this week, and so I wanted to make a video about it. I prefer to write than I do to make videos, but I also prefer to watch videos and listen to people talk about it than I do to read. So I'm trying to be what I prefer. In any case, this is a really, really intense week, mostly because it's the last week of this entire eclipse season. So this is the last week of the lunar cycle that began with the solar eclipse in Cancer, but it's also the last week of the entire lunar cycle that began with the previous, the entire eclipse season that began with the previous lunar cycle. So we're ending a season that began on May 22nd. So think about how much has happened in your own life and also in this external public world since May 22nd. Quite a bit. And so this is a week where everything that's come up is kind of coming to a head, and then it's all just going to be released. So like I said, huge shift. The point of eclipse seasons is to push us towards our destiny. We are not meant to leave these lives as the same person we were when we came in. And so these are times, and this one in particular, this season, I mean, with everything else that's been going on astrologically up there, and also, really in this grounded, embodied world that we live in, it's just a really intense, push towards our destiny. It's like a rebirthing process. So that is really, really happening. So whatever this season has been about for you personally, so again, whatever's been coming up the last 2 months during this eclipse season really is going to force you to let go of something, and more than anything else, let go of who you've been, because you can't become something new until you let go of, who you've already been. And this is really a time where both collectively and individually we're releasing how we think things should be. Well, this is how the world should be. This is how I want it to be. I would like things to be like this, and being given opportunities to see things as they really are. It's kind of like pull off the rose-colored glasses and what's really going out here in the world. Real things are happening everywhere all the time. And so what are those real things? But the beauty of this, it's not like, well, let's bring it all down to reality, but to really say there's beauty in reality, right? In embracing reality, we can actually let go of the things that really aren't working, really, like in our bodies and in this world, like in real life, in the material realm. And also, when we know what's real and we're very clear with what we have, it makes it actually a lot of times a lot easier to actually create something that we really want. To think about, okay, this is what I have, what can I do with it? Kind of like when you have a weird combination of ingredients, you can still make the most delicious meal if you engage in your creativity and your desire to be nourished and nourish other people. And those kinds of themes about nourishing and caring for people and using your resources well. It's kind of like when, somebody has only a few ingredients, they made enough food for their family, but then a bunch of other people come over and magically somehow there's enough food for everybody. That kind of magic, practical magic. This is a season of practical magic. There's actually a lot of beauty to this, but it does require being like, okay, this is what's not going to happen. But since we know it's not going to happen, what is going to happen? What can we create space for? But there's a lot of letting go of who we've been, of old dreams, and we gotta just let them go. And again, this is not only going to be happening in each of our individual lives, but collectively. There's just illusions for each of us, again, in our own lives, personally, our own spirits, illusions that cannot continue. There's also illusions out in this external world that cannot continue. In case anyone was wondering, it's not working. So it's time to do something different. But again, the difference is something that we can't quite even see yet, because we're talking about shifting our destiny from something that we've been to something the complete opposite of that. We have to shift our consciousness first. And the only way you can shift your consciousness is through surrender. So this lunar cycle that we're ending began with a new moon in Cancer. Next week, there's going to be another new moon in Cancer. And there's really no... Well, Scorpio's a pretty surrender sign, but both those signs are really surrendering kinds of signs. And Cancer is the form of surrender that allows birth to happen. So here we are rebirthing, right? We're in this birth process, but every birth is also a death. And Scorpio has a little bit more control and allows for more control than Cancerian surrender does. Like, you are not in control when you are giving birth or in the birth process, right? It is complete surrender for all involved. So Cancer is also the sign that rules the gut. And so one of the things that comes up during this time of year, we're just ending the Sun in Cancer season, is that this is also the height of our immune systems, right? So we're at the height right now in the Northern Hemisphere. We are at the height of our immune system strength. And this is the time to really strengthen our immune system. Like this season, July into August, that's the height of our immune system. So this is a time to focus on building our immune systems when we are in a pandemic, right? So not compromising our immune systems, but building them. And we build our immune systems and we build our health by focusing on the gut. And Cancer is a sign that rules the gut. And so this is also probably these next 6 months we should plan to remain in quarantine to some extent, and perhaps after. But, thinking about how eclipse seasons work, this is a 6-month period. So the remainder of this year, we're going to be in some kind of varying levels of quarantine, lockdown, and it could, keep going like this, most likely, depending on how all respond. But it's really a time to remain connected to this gut, to, like, in a very real way, take care of your gut. Like, eat things that are going to support your gut, that are going to support your immune system. Engage in activities that support your immune system and also your nervous system. Because the North Node's also in Gemini, and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, also rules our nervous systems. And so that means that there's like a really intense amount of energy on the nervous system. And I'm sure that many people who are watching this video have had that experience of like the intense, like, with all, the fireworks and the helicopters and the whatever it is, like, besides, just the information and all of the things, all of the traumatic things that are coming up through media and everything. It's just like, and so we have to take care of our immune systems and we have to take care of our nervous systems. Luckily, as the holistic health research shows, taking care of our guts and our immune and our nervous systems is like pretty much the same things. So really supporting those things, because we need to stay in our intuitions during this time, because the external structures are falling. And that's a huge piece of what this eclipse season has been about and what this next 6 months will be about. Like, it's coming down way more than we can even, many of us can really even see it or feel it now. Like, it is all coming down. And so whatever the traditional indicators have been are not there, and so the only way that you can know what is the right move is to, like, just listen to your gut. And your gut intuition, right? They call it your gut intuition, is strengthened when your gut is physically healthy. There's this, again, all of this research about the relationship between the nervous system and your gut biome, between the brain and your gut biome, between your mind and your mental health and your emotional health and your gut health literally physically. So when you support your gut health physically, you're also making it easier to tap into your intuition and just get those like really, this is a yes, this is a no. Like the gut's pretty cut and dry when it's strong. It's like, this is a yes, this is a no. You don't have to talk about it. We don't need to have like a whole argument about it. We don't need to like have a debate about it. It's just, this is how it is. And that's very Cancerian. You know, Cancerian is a very protective sign. You know, this is maternal energy. It's like maternal instincts, maternal protection, where it's like, oh, hell no, right? Like, or, oh, yes, definitely. So it's very protective in a very practical way. Like I said, this is not, now we're going to pull out our military strategies and think about how, no, this is not that. It's just like, this is what's happening, or this is not what's happening. So, what else? I'm on little notes here. So this is also, again, since we need to be thinking about, we're going to be in quarantine for the next 6 months, how can you make this time comfortable? It's about, you know, Cancer is also the sign that rules the home. So how can you feel at home? How can you create a home with what you've got? Again, it's like, this is reality. How am I going to make this work for me given what I have right now? So how are you going to make your life more comfortable? This is a time to think about how to protect yourself. You know, it's not you. This is not a time for public obligations to everyone, their mom, and this person over here, and that person is like, release your codependency. What other people think does not matter. You know, it's cool. So what's going to leave you feeling good and comfortable in a situation where people are like, it's not comfortable, right? No, that's not that comfortable. So how can you find that comfort? Again, to support your body, to support your immune system, to support your nervous system. Because all of the, if you're supporting one, you're going to be supporting them all. This is like a real tower moment. This is like, do not look back. You may not look back. We're not going back. If you look back, you're going to turn into a pillar of salt. Don't do it. Just keep looking forward. Don't analyze the situation. Don't intellectualize the situation. Like, this is me saying this, right? Don't try to, think too much about it. Don't try to be like, well, because this is what's happened in the past, this is what's happening in the future. It ain't that kind of time, right? It's like, we're going into something completely different. We are birthing something new, and it's all about surrender. It's like surrendering to yourself, that's a not necessarily like a really American concept. No, it's definitely not a concept that I grew up with. So again, these shifts are like really dramatic, and our consciousness, and it's the collective consciousness, but also individual consciousness, because remember, astrologically speaking, as well as in many other systems, who we came into this life as is not who we're meant to leave as. And so everyone has their own unique destiny. So where one person came, the energy that one person embodied coming into this life is going to be the energy that another person is meant to achieve in this life. And so we also can't be like, well, this is what you need to do, without knowing what a person's destiny really is, because that person's destiny might be completely different than yours. And I believe that the world that we're meant to be living in, and the world that we're birthing, that we're moving into, is one where we will be able to mutually support each other's destinies, and we will understand that we each have a different energy that we're meant to embody. We'll understand that we are all meant to do different things. We're not meant to be the same. We're not meant to do the same. This is the age of Aquarius, right? And Aquarius sun right here, is all about everyone's got to be different, right? We do not... People with strong Aquarian energy, we get offended when people are like, oh, you're like this or this person or that thing. It's like, we want to be unique, right? So the age of Aquarius, the age, might be that too. The age of Aquarius is about moving into your uniqueness and being able to appreciate everyone else's uniqueness at the same time. So that's the world that we're birthing but that requires, again, a very different kind of consciousness for us collectively, and in terms of how we think about supporting the structures that are supportive. Aquarius is also traditionally ruled by Saturn, so there is a very structural component, even though the modern ruler is Uranus, and Uranus is about like breaking that shit. Break it down, break through, right? Explode, uranium, like the nuclear bomb all the time inside of your being. But it is structural, and it's about flexible structure, because you're talking about, okay, what is a structure that is strong enough to hold that constant like energy? So that's what we're moving into, but we're not there yet. We're in this very liminal purgatory, like just entering into the vaginal canal, like birth canal thing, where like the contractions are just starting. We got a while to go before the actual birth happens. So think about these next 6 months as almost like you're in labor, or you're in like those last couple weeks before, which are super, not that I know personally, but I know a lot of people who've been through it, like so uncomfortable. And it's like, what are you going to do to make yourself really as comfortable as possible? What are the herbs that you're going to take? What are the activities you're going to do? Who are you going to have around? This is another thing, when people, especially like when people have home births and they're allowed to have kind of who they want there, who would you want to be there while you're giving birth, right? It ain't everyone. So who would you want there, in the room when you are giving birth, and you're like, I need this person here because of X, Y, and Z, something they know, they're funny, they're silly, they'll give me massages, whatever it might be. Like, who do you want there? That's how to really think about this next 6 months. And again, in order to get there, you kind of have to let go of, this is how I would have liked it to be. Like, I really wanted to travel. I really wanted to do this thing. I'm not really in that kind of time. So it's like getting really comfortable, being stuck in your shell. Cancer is the crab, right? So it's like, how are you going to be in your shell? How are you going to create your shell? What's all the little furniture you're going to have in there? How are you going to nourish yourself? How are you going to protect yourself? Who's going to be allowed into your shell? All of that kind of stuff. And like, worry about the external world as little as you possibly can, which is not to say not to be involved, but this building process is going to take a really long time. So it's not like if you take care of yourself right now that you're going to miss it. I think that's one of the things that's happened over the last couple of months. People got scared that if they weren't involved, like at the immediate moment, like there wasn't going to be anything available, or they weren't going to be part of the process. Look, we're going to be doing this for a while. So there's plenty of time and space for everyone to do their part. And so again, really learning how to care for yourself in this time and in this kind of time is so important, because this is a Capricornian thing, right? This is the Cancer Capricorn axis, so we're releasing a lot of Capricorn energy, but you're always also like keeping a little bit of that. Like, Capricorn can keep going. It is the mountain goat. It climbs to the top. People with a lot of Capricornian energy do not tend to work really quickly, right? It's like slow and steady wins to the race, but they always get there, right? So this is very much a time of like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. We're going to get there. We are against a time crunch. There's always a time crunch when Capricorn's involved, because it's Saturn. There's limitations, always the limitations. Saturn's in Capricorn right now, so it's even more limitations, like as many limitations as you can possibly imagine. But there's still opportunities. It's like, slow, steady, like, what are you going to need in the long term? So there's this kind of paradox between being really in this moment, in this time, and enjoying this time and allowing yourself to embody and embrace the reality of this time. Again, very Saturn and Capricorn, the reality of this moment. But knowing that ultimately the goal is to embrace the reality of many, many moments. And sometimes that means like calming down, slowing down, like returning to yourself, taking care of yourself, knowing what you need, like making your circle pretty small, thinking about who is going to be in this space and not in this space. If this is a 6-month period where you have some goals that you want to set, this is not necessarily a great time to start something completely new, but if you have something that you've been working on for a really long time, like a project, a creative project, a business, whatever, working on that more, trying to finish or rebuild, restructure a little bit, this is a great time to do that kind of stuff. Again, working on your health, this is a very good time, an important time to take care of your health for yourself and everybody else. This is a really good time to do those kinds of things. So think about what it is that you are trying to achieve or would like to achieve over this 6-month period, which again, when I say achieve, it could be, I want to finish this creative project, or it could be, I want to take care of myself more. What are the things that you're trying to accomplish over the next 6 months, given what you now know as a result of the last 2/6 months? And how are you going to be able, who's going to help support that? Real life, in real life, who is going to be able to help you support the completion of things? Who is going to help you support the ongoing practice of certain things? And so, let me see. Again, taking care of your gut health, and also minerals is a good time to take care of your minerals with both, because Cancerian energy represents the ocean. This is like Bahamian Ocean kind of ocean. But also the nervous system is very much supported by minerals. So sea vegetables, all the sea vegetables. Any kind of vegetables and herbs that have a salty energetic to them. So it's celery, cucumbers, kale, horsetail, purslane, anything that's got a lot of, electrolytes. So any of those kind of electrolyte vegetables or herbs, but also, anything that has that kind of salty energetic to it. And then also fats and mucilaginous vegetables and herbs. I'm going to be posting some recipes that specifically focus on these kinds of foods, where there's sea vegetables integrated, or mucilaginous foods or herbs, kind of tea cocktails that I make with some of these herbs in them, and lots of fats, and just these are herbs and foods that tend to be, ruled by lunar energy. So really looking into those kinds of things. We'll be posting those things as well on my website. I do already have, if you have not checked out, on the Institute for Earth-Based-Living.com/food blog, there are some really, really amazing recipes that I totally forgot about on there that you can check out now. I'll be posting more of those. Also having a few shifts about the spaces that I'm going to be in, but I'll let everyone know about those. And then finally, not just what you're eating, or what you're consuming, but also, how are you interacting with your body? This is a great time to check in with your inner child, connect with your inner child, be playful, have play time, laugh, turn things into a game. I mean, we're in the situation that we're in because people were turning things that should not have been turned into a game into a game. So this is time to really think about what actually really is serious in this life. Not that much. So make sure that the things that really are serious are kept serious and nothing else. Definitely be woo, silly and playful and dance around. It's less jujitsu, more capoeira, just playful, flowing, and stay moving. And nothing that's too flowing, moving, playing. Also things that are amazing for your immune system. The more that you move, the better it is to keep your system moving, keep all those fluids moving in the way that they need to be moving. So that is that. I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I would love if you liked my channel and shared this if it resonates with you. And I will see you soon. I'm going to be doing more of these videos. So have a great day.